Hello, welcome to Alumni Conversations, recorded in the time of the coronavirus pandemic from Stockbridge, Massachusetts and Brooklyn, New York. I'm Jane Karlin, an adjunct associate professor in the Center for Global Affairs at the NYU School of Professional Studies. More specifically, I've had a long-standing relationship with the George H. Hyman Jr. Program for Philanthropy and Fundraising, which is located in the Center for Global Affairs. Teaching has enabled me to stay connected to the latest trends and practices in our field. Most important, it provides an opportunity for me to give back to a profession that has been deeply rewarding, leading institutional advancement departments and capital campaigns in higher education in the Jewish communal world, opened doors to countless adventures, ways to live my values and express my philanthropic interests, and I formed friendships around the globe that I would not have imagined. Today, I use these skills on the boards on which I serve, in my teaching, and also in research and writing that I've been working on. It's so exciting for me to see the talent and energy that newcomers and seasoned professionals are bringing to our field. I cannot think of a better representative of the next generation than Sara Pandolfi, President Sara Pandolfi and Company, and a 2014 graduate of the School of Professional Studies. Sara, it is so good to have you join Alumni Conversations.
Thank you.
Let's start with an overarching question. Fundraisers often have diverse backgrounds and come to the profession in circuitous ways. Tell us about your journey. Did your educational background, a particular job, a volunteer experience influence your present career choice, or is it some alchemy of the above?
Well, Jane, it's a bit of both, actually. I gravitated to philanthropy and fundraising through life's experiences, really. At a young age, I aspired to be a journalist and studied journalism in undergrad. But after working for the school newspaper and interning at CNN, I realized that something was missing. That position for me didn't really click. It was important for me to find a career that brought me happiness and a sense of fulfillment. So I had also dabbled in fashion and photography, but I realized something was still missing. At that time, I had met a social worker, and that's really when my life changed. I didn't know what social work was. I had lived in LA, but in the suburbs, and was really removed from that. But it reminded me that when I was in high school, I really enjoyed peer counseling. And that was something that I found a great sense of fulfillment in. So that's when I made the decision to move to New York and pursue a master's degree in social work. And after I graduated from Columbia University, I landed my dream job as a program coordinator for an after-school prevention program for at-risk teens in Staten Island. And it was amazing. I had such a great experience. It was a very unique role that I had, which involved developing and coordinating the curriculum for numerous academic enrichment and prevention programs. And I also had the opportunity to dabble in clinical work, and it was very fulfilling. I found great reward in knowing that I was helping these children develop the tools to help them achieve their full potential. But sadly, I was also very aware that we were always at risk of losing funding. The organization heavily relied on government funding, and one day we did. So that's when I really realized how important fundraising is in order for nonprofits to sustain and carry out their mission. So I felt the only choice I had was to really go back to school to hone my development acumen so I could make a difference in the nonprofit sector. During that time, Jane, while I was in transition, I looked for volunteer opportunities, and I realized that nonprofits, what they want are people who can help them with fundraising. And so I did, and I volunteered in various capacities. And that transition, it really made sense for me to pursue development.
So when you began to look at different programs in the city of New York, how did you come to NYU School of Professional Studies and the program at the that was offered in Center for Global Affairs?
Sure. So when I decided to leave my job as a social worker, I originally thought that going into business school would be the next step. But while I was studying for the GMAT, I discovered that NYU SPS actually has a graduate program in philanthropy and fundraising. And I was so excited because it was so specific to my professional goals. I chose the Hyman Center because the staff and professors, they were very supportive and welcoming during the interview process. I liked that the classes were geared toward working professionals and career changers like myself. And I also found value in networking opportunities with student leaders in various programs. So it was, without hands down, it was the right place for me to go.
I know, and we've seen in the last 2 decades a tremendous growth in the fact that there's real theory and real technique and science behind fundraising. It's not just an art, and it's not just a larger bake sale. And many people who come into the Hyman program have a really great intuitive sense of fundraising, but they don't always have the professional vocabulary or really all of the technique down. As you went through the program, compared to your experiences as a volunteer, in working, in your earlier educational background, what were some of the challenges, or were there things that you didn't expect about the program or in making the transition?
Well, I think there weren't challenges. I think, in joining the program. I saw it more as opportunities, endless opportunities. So for example, my first semester, I took a theory and practice in fundraising. Basically, it's fundraising 101. And it was an amazing course. We had the opportunity to apply theory into practice, which is exactly what I was looking for. As a class, we had the opportunity to do a grassroots fundraiser out of class time. And it was a successful event. We were raising money and awareness for 2 soup kitchens that were in the NYU community. And we branded that campaign as Lift the Ladle. And it was pretty much the ultimate fundraiser. It taught us, I think it taught me especially early in my career, how to be resourceful, creative, how to leverage your network. The campaign was a success. I also had the opportunity to work directly with Holy Apostles Soup Kitchen, which was one of our clients for that class project. And, I had maintained the relationship with them. Our professor was very happy with the outcome of the class project. We had surpassed our goal by 225%. So
wow.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was great as a testament to great teamwork and a great professor, great leadership. And, with that, my professor at the time, Timothy Higdon, he really served as a mentor, and he saw potential in me, and he helped further that potential and really helped me build my career as a consultant. When I had enrolled in the program, I just assumed when I was done, I would work in the development office of a nonprofit that was near and dear to my heart. But as I went through each semester and had the opportunity to take classes where we would work with direct clients and do, an annual campaign or build a social media strategy plan, it also broadened my network and my experience and what I can offer to nonprofits. And without me marketing myself and what I do, nonprofits would actually approach me for consulting work. And it was exciting. So really my career flourished, through the Hyman Center and through the guidance of several mentors that I had. The professors they're really outstanding and went above and beyond to help coach me, prepare me for, different projects and opportunities. They helped me evolve as a fundraiser, as a development professional, and expand my skill set. So I was able to, and still am able to, offer nonprofit clients different types of services, from doing a development assessment to strategic plan to board coaching and development, leveraging the network to build committees, and doing social media strategies, marketing, activating influencers for good, just so many things. I feel very grateful for that opportunity.
Now, one of the things that I've really enjoyed in getting to know fellow faculty members is the diversity of our backgrounds, the types of nonprofits that we work with, how entrepreneurial some of my colleagues are also in creating their own firms and building their brands. And it's really a pleasure to share that with students. And I think I can generalize and say that all of the faculty in the fundraising area are very eager to continue to provide advice and mentor students. It's a field that's known for generosity of practice. We may not exchange donor lists with one another, but we will definitely help people who are trying to make a decision and don't know which way to go in terms of either their career or they're running a program at their organization and are at a fork in a road and want some assistance in talking it through or learning what other resources are available to them. And those networks continue beyond the students' immediate enrollment. And we learn as much from our students, quite frankly, as I suspect they may be learning from us. People come to this field with fantastic networks of their own and great creativity, and also experiences from earlier lives to share. How have you stayed connected to the students whom you've met through studying at SPS?
Oh, sure. So through the fundraising program, a group of us have kept in touch. We actually started an unofficial supper club that's been going on since, gosh, I think maybe 2012. And, back then we would try to meet, every other month over dinner in the city or Brooklyn, and just exchange best practices, what we're learning on the job, what we're learning in the class, be a support system for each other. And to this day, we've continued the supper club. I mean, it's a small handful of us, but, I think during times of COVID too, we still maintain and contact, and we'll have Zoom virtual happy hours and one-off, of course, conversations. And I feel very fortunate because that group has really been such a tremendous support system for me. They've supported various projects and organizations that I've been involved in, and vice versa. So I feel very fortunate for that. I feel also very fortunate that I've maintained a close relationship with SPS as well as the Wasserman Center. And I've had the opportunity to connect with, currently enrolled students in the graduate program as well as alumni. And I've been able to mentor many students in integrated marketing and the PR program. Some of them I've even taken on as interns, which has been great, and been able to share with them what I've learned through my journey at NYU and as building my career.
Tell us a little bit about the Wasserman Center for individuals who may be watching this and are not familiar with the resource.
Absolutely. So the Wasserman Center, they really help you prepare for the career that you want. They offer opportunity with interview skills, resume writing, networking. They offer conferences and seminars with relevant topics to help you grow your network, land your job. They will host job fairs as well. I've been very honored to serve on various panels at the Wasserman Center. I've spoke on building and maintaining a professional network, and I also help facilitate a nonprofit boot camp, which I think we had a few years ago at one of the conferences. So it's the Wasserman Center. They've really served as a great resource for me, both when I was a student, but also as an alumni.
And I know recently work that you were doing as a student at Holy Apostle Church has led to other opportunities for you. Could you tell us a little bit about how you've grown in your relationship there?
Sure, absolutely. So after my class, we produced Lift the Ladle, the class project. I maintained ties with Holy Apostles Soup Kitchen, and They soon after, they had invited me to produce their first ever gala. And it was exciting. I had never done something to that scale before, but I was ready for the challenge. And it was exciting because I was able to leverage the NYU community, my friends from just all different programs, from fundraising, HR, events, PR, integrated marketing, hospitality. They all rolled up their sleeves. They helped me in different ways. They believed in the cause that Holy Apostles Soup Kitchen represented, to help fight hunger and address neighbors in need. And my classmates and alumni, they helped with fundraising. Some of them joined committees. Others served as influencers and helped with marketing. Others would volunteer the day of the event. Some would just come to support the event, and others have become sponsors over the years. So it's been exciting. And I think with Holy Apostles, the Farm to Tray campaign that we created, that was back in 2013, and since then we've grown it. It's grassroots. Nearly everything is donated. The community really come together to leverage their skill set for good. So that's where the skills-based volunteerism has also been very helpful through the NYU community, with the community's help, with my former professors, Timothy Higdon and Tom Watson. They helped us really come together and raise over nearly $2.5 million in cash and in-kind support.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it's a big wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, but it's a testament to what people can do when they're passionate about something, but also they know how to harness their skills for good. So I feel very fortunate for that. And that has been the largest annual fundraiser for Holy Apostles. And I think with that, it brought a lot of attention to the work that I do as a development professional. It also, with NYU Network, one of my professors, Tom Watson, we had kept in touch over the years. We've worked, collaborated with each other on various development consulting projects. He actually introduced me to an amazing organization called Tannenbaum that does great work to fight religious prejudice and promote peace. And I consulted with them for many years. And at the end of my consultancy, they invited me to join their board of directors, which was a great honor. And I've been serving on the board for 2 years. I'm also the chair of the development committee. So that's been really exciting. It's amazing how the NYU community has really helped me in different ways. And I feel like in return, I've also helped them. And I'd like to give back, and that's where I've decided to mentor and also just provide advice, even if it's like a one-off meeting with the student or alumni. I feel like it's paying it forward. I've been so fortunate to have great friends, students that from the various programs that continue to be in my life and help with professional development and career advice. So I feel grateful for that.
Yeah. And I'm going to tease out that wonderful response a little bit. One of the things you talk about is development professional. And I really want to stress the term professional, because sometimes we all meet people who make comments about professional fundraisers like, oh, you're always out asking for money. And it becomes a little bit of a disparagement, oh, I'm going to hide my wallet, you're here, that sort of thing. And yet, when you really look at this profession, not only does one need extraordinary technical expertise, but also tremendous empathy and the ability to work with the most diverse groups of people and clients that one could imagine. And I think that the growth in the past 2 decades of programs like the Hyman program, like the related programs in the Center for Global Affairs and at the School of Professional Studies, have done so much to make fundraisers really proud of who they are. And we're also the dream makers. No nonprofit can achieve its goals without money. You said it very early on, you realized that as a social worker, that you were really beholden to federal grants, state grants, municipal grants, or private philanthropy. And therefore, we enable worlds to change. And to me, I can't think of something that's more powerful. The other thing that you've pointed out is how you've changed sides of the table, so to speak, to be sitting on boards and to bring your expertise and your compassion and your values to determining how nonprofits survive. And tell me more about how sitting on the boards has influenced your work as a consultant. Has it opened up ways of thinking about your practice that perhaps you hadn't identified before?
Well, I think serving on the board, for me in particular, it gives me an opportunity to, one, as you had mentioned, share my expertise in fundraising and development, but also to work with a group of volunteer leaders who come from various backgrounds: law, accounting, hospitality, just various levels. So with that, I feel that it challenges me to think of all the different areas where a nonprofit does need help, above and beyond development. Of course, development's important, but we also have to have fiduciary responsibilities, governance. It's almost like teaching you how to run a business, and a successful business, but how there's so many different components involved to make that business successful, and why the key stakeholders are so important in bringing that success to the organization, helping them carry out their mission. So I feel very fortunate to be able to serve on nonprofit boards and advisory boards as well.
Right, and I think board development is an overarching topic in fundraising consulting and working within a nonprofit if you choose to work for a nonprofit rather than have your own firm, is really at the heart of the nonprofits reaching out to seek resources. Board members are in a position to be of great help, and to harness their contacts and their energy is so positive. And I think when you do sit on boards, you see how other organizations approach opportunities and challenges, and you can bring that knowledge forward to other organizations who are so eager also to learn what others are doing in the field. Have you taken advantage of or thought about taking advantage of some of the other courses outside of the Hyman program, again, to just strengthen your knowledge base or help you to prepare to go into business for yourself?
Yes, absolutely. While I was enrolled in the Hyman Center, I did take I think 1 or 2 courses in the public relations program, and it was great. I feel like PR is important in any industry. And to be able to develop the skill to write a press release and do media outreach and just understand how to best portray the organization or company that you're representing or trying to bring attention to. It's very important. I would definitely love to take more classes. I think as an alumni, I would love to dabble into integrated marketing. I still keep in contact with those who graduated from the integrated marketing program and have worked with them and on different marketing strategies. So I think it would be interesting to take a couple of courses there now, I think, as a working professional.
And I think what's so nice about a school like NYU School of Professional Studies is that you can cherry pick something that you feel you want to know and take that class and not necessarily worry about, well, is it contributing to a degree? Do I even have to take it for a grade? No, you can take it for non-credit, so that you really learn from it and come into the class with a very laser focus as to what it is you want to get out of it to apply to your work. And I too, I find there's so many things offered that it's just a question of time to get those things done. What are some of your thoughts about advice for people who are really where you were when you decided to leave social work and consider fundraising as a career?
Sure. Well, with any career, it's important to understand why you're choosing that certain path. And I feel it's very important to be passionate about the causes that you align with. So as someone who is looking to pursue a career in development, I advise them to look at their network and to see who they can seek advice from, to see if this is the right career path for you. It's important to have great communication skills, marketing skills, sales, and also, just as you had mentioned earlier, Jane, having empathy and passion, and just, I think, really being committed to the cause, being committed to the organization or organizations that you're supporting makes you better at fundraising. When you have that passion, when you talk about the organization that you're working with or supporting, people enjoy seeing that passion, and it's contagious in a way. And I feel they're, intrigued and more attracted, like they're drawn to you, and they want to feel that sense of excitement as well. And I think that's been one great way of introducing a broader network to the various organizations that I work with.
Oh, absolutely. I've always said to students, philanthropy is so broad. The causes in the world, in your city, in your state, in the nation are so great. You have to really identify what matters to you as a human being, because it's very hard to work for a cause that you don't either identify with personally, or you're not comfortable in hospitals, then medical fundraising is not for you. And as a result, you do need to know yourself fairly well. But it's a wonderful journey, and people try things out and say, okay, that's not my niche. I'll definitely follow another passion. The other thing too is that writing skills are really important. Just being able to do basic correspondence, whether it's delivered electronically or whether it's through snail mail, being able to express yourself certainly helps in this profession.
Absolutely. I think having a journalism background definitely it helped with me in the transition. Studying journalism taught me how to search for the truth, and to be able to translate that research into a compelling article. And you need to be a good storyteller. And I was able to
Yes.
transfer that skill into development research and grant writing, and harness that passion to build a case for support for various charities. And I think also having the background as a social worker helped me understand from a program's perspective the challenges that nonprofits face. And, of course, as we've discussed, just having that firsthand knowledge of how funding affects social services and nonprofits in general, and how important it is to have a diversified revenue stream. So, yeah.
Yes, and people talk now that the profession may, quote unquote, undergo some changes because of the coronavirus pandemic. Certainly we know that organizations that are more advanced in social media are doing a better job at staying in touch with their constituents during this time when face-to-face meetings in real time are very difficult. Obviously, we've all learned what Zoom and other platforms can do, and I think that will influence some of the ways people communicate going forward. But I think there will always be a need for fundraisers as long as we live in a less than perfect world. And I'm just so glad that you've been so generous with your time and your observations. And I've absolutely enjoyed talking with you, and wish you the very, very best as you go forward in your career. Thanks, Sarah, for being with Alumni Conversations.
Thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. And I encourage students and alumni to use the Violet Network. It's a great platform, serves as a wonderful resource great networking opportunities. And also you're welcome to reach out to me through the platform.
And I'm also in the faculty directory as well, and I'm glad to field questions. Be well, Sarah, be safe, and Godspeed.
Thank you. You too, Jane.